What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri zone, and welcome back to, well, Iran. I think everybody saw the news coming out with Thiago Motta's interview and what actually happened afterwards as well. I planned a preview. I did plan a preview. Should have been out for 2 hours, but I deleted it because I wanted to talk about this. That's why it's a late one. Just got home. I think everybody saw what Motta had to say and what Perin then did afterwards, and as well what certain journalists did, who, by the way, were okay with the same things happening years prior to this. So that's like just to picture the situation of the club, how low we are as a club, because everybody can attack, everybody can speak, even players who have done nothing for this club, ex-coaches who have done nothing for this club, all can take a shot right now whilst the club is in the clear. And that's exactly what they want to do. The fact that players who will mean nothing for this club history are acting like leaders, are speaking as if they're leaders, or leaking stuff as if they are leaders, whilst we are in the worst position we have been since pre-Conte, basically. That's the state of the club. If anyone believed or didn't believe this is banter, this is actually banter era for us. This is worse because when we were finishing 7, we knew we were shit, and none of these players were talking smack. None of these players were leaking stuff, were getting coaches sacked, and so on, so on. That wasn't happening because everybody knew the situation. Right now, the worst part of all of this is that these players actually believe that they are better than they are showing or have shown for the past. But before we get into it, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel because we do play tomorrow, and it's an important game. Tudor spoke about that, but it's kind of irrelevant at this moment in time. It might be even more relevant tomorrow and Monday. But Motta spoke, or he did an interview, and that's a thing Motta probably should have known. When you do that interview, probably done days before, today and so on, but they release it the day before we have a big game. So that's a big mistake. However, that's how the media works, and we've seen it in the past. It's not good, it's not acceptable, basically, but it happened. So that's that. Motta, because I've seen Motta speak, and like everybody read the quotes, and the first thing came out from other journalists were saying, "Oh, but he's only telling his own truth." What do you want Motta to do? Not defend himself? Let the club shit on him? Let leaks come out? Lies, by the way, absolute lies. When people were talking about the quotes about uh, that that Motta told Julius he's not Messi, and the source was Walter Sabatini. Let's be real, Walter Sabatini and Sport Media said were used as sources. That's not even a source. When we talk about, oh, it's a bad source, oh, Gazzetta dello Sport, we don't like it. We don't like the source. They're not really trustworthy. That's a difference to Walter Sabatini and Sport Media said. Those people and those outlets are not sources. It's the low of the low. Like, it's actually the scum of the earth. It's that bad. It's that bad. And Motta just came out and defended himself, and he called out bullshit. Now, he said things I didn't agree with. He said things about, I would have done things differently. I'm like, you did certain things because, well, we all know why. So you cannot say those things because everybody knew at the time you were doing certain things the wrong way, basically. And he came out and he also exposed the club for, things that weren't allowed to happen, so on, so on. So a coach is always coming out defending himself, especially in this case when there have been 1,000 leaks. The club is willingly letting everybody take a shot at Motta. Of course, Motta's coming out to defend himself. Like, that's only normal. No matter who the coach is, you as a person, I would do the same thing. I'm not going to let that happen. That's one. That's one part. The moment that came out, and again, Motta might have been lying. He might have said things that are not true. That is real. Like, that probably happened. Like, I'm like, that probably happened. He said things in the interview that are probably a lie just to make himself look good. However, it happened on the other side as well. The moment that happens, the moment we are in as a club, the moment we are in before tomorrow, a head-to-head game, you need to beat Roma, period. For Purin to come out and put out an Insta quote saying you're the architect of your own thing and so on is absolutely madness, in my opinion. Now, What I'm gonna say has nothing to do with Perin, the person, or the player, because he's a good goalkeeper. He's a good goalkeeper, and he's a great person. However, he's not a leader. If these guys are the leaders of our team, then we are an even worse banter era than I could imagine. If these are the players leading the locker room, if these are the players speaking in the locker room, we're screwed. I don't care that he's a good goalkeeper whatsoever. In his prime of his career, he decided it was okay to sit on the bench. He accepted to sit on the bench. As a lead, I cannot have these like leaders. Go back in time. Leaders were Chiellini, Buffon, the main guys on the pitch, playing week in, week out, making a difference. We have none of them. And I'm not looking at the backup goalkeeper who, in his prime, decided, you know what, it's okay. It's okay to be the backup to Chesney and Di Gregorio and whatsoever. Those guys cannot be the leader. Again, he might be a good person, probably is. He's a good goalkeeper as well. But for me as a fan, not once in any given time, and I'm gonna look at that, I'm like, man, that's probably a leader of that locker room. Because a leader for me, I can see that on the pitch. And a leader wants to play. And he doesn't want to play. He wants to play, but he's happy to sit on the bench. He's happy to play a handful of games throughout a season, you know? So that I cannot like if you're actually that guy and you want to be that guy and you put out that quote the moment that interview dropped, the day before we play Roma, it's done. Like it's done. People, like again, these players have done absolutely squat for this club. The Motta talked about Danilo and so on. The only thing these players have won as starters is a Coppa freaking Italia. The Scudetto they won, they were bench players. Danilo was a bench player. Perin went back to Genoa to play because he wanted to play because Chesney took the job, and then he came back to sit on the bench again. Like these guys cannot be leaders. Like it's impossible. If that's the mindset, it's impossible that this team is gonna win anything. These group of players are led by. I'm not gonna say the word, but they're not led by leaders. They're not led by great men, great players. Obviously, that is an issue. All the blame is shifted to Motta, who, by the way, again, I'll repeat myself, made mistakes. But these players and the club are just getting away with it. The moment Motta speaks, it's like, you're shit, you're this, and the players are just laughing their asses off. Because it's the same players, it's the same management who made those decisions. And Motta said, it's crazy that we went in one direction, basically, and now are trying to throw it completely out of the way. He's basically saying, what the hell is this club? We want to do something, and then with the first difficulties, it's like, screw this, we go again with what we didn't want prior to this. Like, that's actually what's happening at the club. It's actually crazy that these players are being hauled as I don't know, great players. Like 20 years from now, again, I do not remember Perin. I do not remember a player who just won a Coppa Italia. I'm sorry. In the moment, I enjoyed the Coppa win, but 20 years from now, I'm not going to talk about the Coppa win. We will talk about a Scudetto win or a Coppa win if it's in the same year as a Scudetto. 20 years from now, I'm not going to say, remember in 2024 when we won the Coppa Italia? I forgot about that. I don't know the lineup. I forgot the lineup at this moment in time, and we won the Coppa Italia last season. It's not that big of a deal. And the players who are portraying themselves as leaders only won a Coppa Italia or a Scudetto, but sitting on the bench. These guys are not winners. They are laughing their asses off. They're getting away with criminal stuff. It's actually crazy. I'm actually pissed that obviously the interview dropped before the game, but that's the media. That's how it works. Still pissed about it. The moment, like straight after Perin, just putting more oil on the fire. If you think Motta is lying, fine, and you have every right to defend yourself. But if you really are that leader, you do not put that out the night before we play a big game away to Roma, a game we absolutely 100% need to win. There's no ifs and buts. We need to win that game, or we are in serious trouble for top four because the team believes they can get top four. So not me, but they do. If you're a leader, you're shut up and you're focused on the game. And Tudor, funnily enough, came out today. He said the focus should be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, match day. The focus needs to be there every day in training, post game, pre game, at home. The focus should be football. He showed the focus is not football. It's not. And for me, that's a massive issue. This club is actually a circus. Like, it's actually a circus right now. The standards are so low, it's actually shocking. I don't care about these players. I want to win. I want this club to be great again, and we are no, near close to being great again, and especially not with these bunch of players. It's impossible. It's just impossible. It's actually impossible because they are too fixated on themselves. They find themselves way more important than they really are. That is a massive problem, and it's allowed by the club, which makes it worse. There's nobody in control. They can do whatever they want and they can get away with it. And for me, that's just frustrating. Like, it's actually frustrated as hell because we've all seen great Juve sides. We've dominated for for 9 years. We dominated. Those guys were winners, and even towards the end, we were looking at some of them, a bit sideways. We're like, really, you? But they were still winning. Those were winners. These guys are not. But for some reason, they believe they are. And one of those reasons is the club. They don't do anything about it. They allow it to happen. They allow them to take shots and leak stuff because then they are out of the dark. They are cool. They're done. And fans, a lot of fans eat it up. There's nothing to do with Perin being a good player or Danilo being a good player. It's about moments. It's about when you speak, what you speak. It's about who you are and what you have done for this club. And in the end of the day, they have done absolutely nothing worthy to remember, in my opinion. But still, they can speak. And for me, that's just crazy. And again, this is not about Motta Tudor because I want to win. And Motta was not winning. I would have not done it because I believe in him. However, the club has done it. Fine. The next one, I will back you until I reach a point where I'm like, I cannot back you, but I want to win. The club comes always first over players like Perin, Danilo, Vlahovic, even Yildiz at this stage, who I absolutely love as a player. But still, the club goes above everyone. We lost Del Piero, Buffon, Chiellini. Like, we lost insane players, throughout the years. The club is still here. At the end of the day, yes, the players are the reason the club is great, on the pitch. But they can only be great because the club was great off the pitch. And that's where it starts. They're allowing this to happen. And it's actually a clown show. It's a circus. Anyways, let me know in the comments what you think of the entire situation. And hopefully Tudor has these players ready for tomorrow because we need to win. It's that clear. We need to win. So yeah, let me know in the comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you tomorrow post game.